And we have today a very special guest, that is Tungavidya Devi Dasi. She is very dear to me, and I think the whole world knows her because she traveled with Srila Gurudeva, I think almost 21 years of her life. She traveled, she made a tour, and she made many arrangements for Srila Gurudeva in each country together with Didi. Before Gurudeva arrived in a country, she was the one together with Didi who made all the arrangements like cooking arrangements, all the utensils, everything which was necessary for Gurudev's for making the arrangements for Gurudev for his arrival. They were preparing, making the background here, and since she was 20, I think when she was in very young age, traveled to India, and there she met also her husband Gopinath Prabhu, and also Srila Gurudev she met there, and she has experienced a lot of things with Srila Gurudev, and it is very interesting to hear from her how she met Srila Gurudev, and also the past time during the tour with Srila Gurudev, what she experienced. Tungavidya Didi, welcome. Can you hear us?
Good. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are very happy with your presence. You can share what is in your to us.
Just can 1 second. 1 second.
Yes.
I have a program. I cannot answer now. I have a program. The video. Sorry.
Yeah, you can speak for 1 hour.
Yeah?
You can speak for 1 hour, so we have your time.
I don't know if I can.
Yes, because you experience many things.
I'm nervous, so.
It is okay, you can speak. Share what is in your heart and what you have experienced.
That's not so easy.
Starting from how you met Gurudev, how it went. So.
Yeah. First, I offer my humble obeisances. Om Jnanati Marandasya Ginagina Salakaya Jagshurminitanyana Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I offer my humble obeisances again and again to my beloved Srila Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravistavam Srimati Bhakti-Vedanta Narayana Gosvami, and all the Vaishnavas. I don't know who is here on the call. Maybe some I know. So my affectionate Dandavat to all. And my affectionate Dandavat to Sashikala Didi and her mother, Ananga Didi, who we had quite a lot of sweet pastimes with while Gurudeva was in Holland or Germany. So originally I'm from Holland, from an intellectual family, and during my life I was specifically at a young age interested in psychology, and later that developed into philosophy, and after that Indian philosophy. So that made me travel to India at the age of 21. And I didn't meet Gopinath Prabhu there. I met him in Holland in 1975. So that was far before we actually traveled to India. And in India, we try to find the truth, basically. No, we try to join different groups, the Sikhs, different ways. But then that led us to one journey going to Jagannath Puri in, I think it was 1980 or so. And there we received the Bhagavad Gita as it is from Srila Prabhupada. And for us, that was it. We found the truth. So from there on, our spiritual journey started as in Krishna consciousness. And we joined also the Hare Krishnas in Australia. And because we couldn't stay there long time, we moved to Mayapur. And both of us did a lot of service there. And I got the service given to me, cleaning Srila Prabhupada's quarters for the whole year that we stayed there. And that made me very attached to Srila Prabhupada. All his personal paraphernalia were there in the room. His bed, his books, his Mahaprabhu deity. And I got to take care of all of them. No, they're all personalities. And by that, I think personally that I got some more sukriti that lead to me to meet with Srila Gurudev. So, but in the meantime, we left ISKCON for some time also to come back in 1992 to Vrindavan, the ISKCON. And in Vrindavan ISKCON, I couldn't see any guru that would be suitable to guide me. And I prayed very deeply in front of the Samadhi of Srila Prabhupada, in the very deep of the core of my heart, who is my real guru? And from that moment on, actually, Srila Prabhupada guided me to Mathura by sending one of his disciples, Aditya Didi. She took me in the Gurukul bus to Mathura. That was the day before Janmashtami. They have a huge parade, huge, like 4 hours long, 5 hours long in the evening. So I came there and I had no idea what is going on there and who is what. But of course, Srila Gurudev was sitting on a big chariot, and now he is then the guru. But it was the first time I consciously saw him. And then after the parade, late already, 9:30, we entered the temple my first time. And I was just looking around, standing, not talking to anyone. And Srila Gurudev came from behind me. And then he looked at me, and I'm like a giant for him. Then he said, "Who are you? Where are you from? Do you have a guru?" And I said, "My name is Tungavidya. I don't have a guru." And that was the whole conversation, actually. And I remember that I was standing with my hands like this and watching everyone dive to Srila Gurudev's lotus feet. And I thought in my mind, I will never do that. So then half hour later, I actually touched his feet, and all by his own mercy, because who am I? Then very carefully, I touched his foot really quickly, but at least that mercy he gave me, and that was all. Then the next day, very beautifully, I listened to the Harikatha in a totally different way, and I couldn't understand it. I heard with different ears the Harikatha, and from that time on, I was granted to meet Srila Gurudev again and again, slowly, more and more. Then I met also, I lived actually in a house, in an ashram on the Parikrama Road, Kirtan Ashram. And by, again, Krishna's and Gurudev's arrangement, most of the devotees living in that house were all attracted to Srila Gurudev, and we used to go in tempos and all kinds of ways, mostly tempos. We go 1 or 2 times a day to Mathura. Then not every day. In the beginning, especially, there were some gaps between the times that I meet with Srila Gurudev again. Then in that time, I was taking care of Archa Vigraha in ISKCON, an ISKCON older lady who had cancer. And Srila Gurudev came to visit her a few times. I remember only one time specifically, but I heard from others that he came a few times. And she was a very special lady because she asked Srila Gurudev to put his feet on her head. And he did. So that's a very special lady. And then she was the brain also behind the start of the hospice they made here near to ISKCON. Very helpful in guiding devotees over to another side. And from there on, I got more and more involved. And the next, this was in 1993. So then the day before Jamastami, I met him. So then over the months, I met him several times. And I didn't grasp not much in the beginning. I just felt always this very strong attraction to come and go with everyone and meet with him. So everyone knows also he's so charming, so attractive. He always gives everyone that particular thing that they need. So one day it happened Gurudev started to ignore me. And not only me, but many people experienced that, but me also. He ignored me for about half a year. And I was so devastated, so deeply devastated. I couldn't understand why. Sometimes I would ask a question, Gurudev, and then he would look the other side. Another time, I walk in his room with many devotees, and one by one, they all pay their obeisances and touch his feet. So then it's my turn. And I stick my hand out to touch his feet. And then he said, "Don't touch." So I thought, okay, I don't touch. And I go out and sit in the temple room. Then after a few minutes, first I didn't think anything about it, but then after a few minutes, I started crying and sobbing. And I couldn't stop crying for hours and hours and hours, even in the rickshaw going back to Vrindavan. I kept on crying, and everyone was saying, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I couldn't tell what has happened and what stirred my heart. But I was devastated each time. And after half a year, I wrote him finally a letter, I must be the most fallen, the most rotten, the most offensive person in the whole world. And I gave that letter to him in Vrindavan temple, the Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math. And he said he read it, and he said, "Very good." So these are very heavy operations on the personal platform, and many of us tasted that, and it is good also now we can understand why he did things like that, but at that time I couldn't understand it. I understood it was a purification, but now I understand more deeply, the open heart surgery to come more closer to the soul. Now the soul is covered by so many anarthas and offenses and misconceptions that, well, that's why he came, to help all the conditioned souls, the fallen conditioned souls. And I was very lucky, or I am very lucky, that he put his glance on me and attracted me and arranged for me to meet with him. Because at that time also I thought, no, by my good fortune it was like that, but now I understand that without Sri Guru nothing happens, and every breath, every moment is by his grace only, and he keeps us alive, he gives us purpose, and he's trying. They say Sri Guru shed so much sweat, tears, and blood to bring one soul to the spiritual world. And we are so many, and they're so kind, all of them, all pure devotees. And Srila Gurudeva especially is very, very beyond material words, picking us up from this world. It's amazing. Once he went to a whale watch in Hawaii, and there somebody was asking him, why you go on a whale watch? It's a touristy thing. So by then they are maybe 2 miles out in the sea, in the ocean, and he told the person, you see in the distance, the beach is there, and you see black spots, they are people. And he said, even they benefit from me being here. So those things are big things, and we cannot even imagine anything like that. We can only intellectually think about it and understand something, but the impact that the pure devotee, each pure devotee has on their surroundings is like beyond words. And Mahaprabhu made it that way. He came here to distribute, and they are the pure devotees are the distributors of the bhakti, and they're working so tremendously hard. And Gurudev, everyone knows also, he was so extraordinary, merciful, specific. She had a special mission to save the Guru Parampara and to open the treasure box of Sri Rupa Gosvami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then his own Srila Gurudev, Om Vishnupad Shishimad Bhakti Pragyan Kesava Goswami Maharaj. There are this long Guru Parampara line just showering their mercy upon the fallen conditioned soul, and they are unconditionally loving everyone and wanting everyone. And once in a lecture in Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math, he explained about Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, but he was speaking about himself also, that they promise, actually, the promise is probably to Srimati Vadavani, they promise that they will, even one sincere soul is here in the material world, they will come and make all arrangement for that person to make it back home, back to Godhead. So that's very extraordinary, because we are so many and they're showering upon every single, not even human being, on every entity, they shower their mercy. There in the waters in Hawaii, they saw whales. He was watching the whales. In another place in Hawaii also, in the North Shore, he would ask the owner of the house always, how are my flowers and grasses and trees today? So he has a relationship with everything. For us, slowly, maybe we start realizing that everyone has a soul, but for him, he sees the soul, he sees our journey, he sees our future also, he sees our spiritual body also. And it's just very amazing, wonderful, not wonderful, it's beyond description, that what he's doing and how fortunate everyone is who comes in contact with any pure devotee, even from the past. Like, for example, I never met Srila Prabhupada, but I was in ISKCON and I appreciated his books and I believed in his books, and I developed so much love for Srila Prabhupada that I could pray to him. And by that prayer, I actually met my Srila Gurudev. So these are very, very deep things, very deep things. And Gurudev himself said, they asked him why he's giving such very esoteric and high Harikatha, and he would say, otherwise this will be lost. He would tell also that it will take a few hundred years for people to really start appreciating. So that we are connected with a person like that, a spiritual person, Radharani's own associate, that is a very special thing. And I think for the devotees who never met with him, it is very hopeful, because he says if we pray sincerely, then Krishna must arrange that one day we will meet with the pure devotee. So we are very hopeful. And he would say also always, don't be hopeless. Always, I got a little sidetracked here. So in 1994, in Kartik, before Kartik, I went into Srila Gurudev's room to ask for initiation. And he told us, Gopinath Prabhu was there also. And he told us to come on parikrama first, and then he will give initiation. So he did like that. And at the end of Kartik, an Ekadasi, he gave us initiation in Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Mat, and we were fortunate to be just the two of us with Srila Gurudev. And it was very, very sweet, very sweet. A small thing that happened that time is that I bought round beads for me, and we had cylindrical beads for Gopinath Prabhu. So he chanted on the beats and he gave to Gopinath the round ones. And then we told Srila Gurudev, these beats are actually for Gopinath Prabhu. But he gave them to Gopinath Prabhu. Then again, I thought he didn't understand. So I told him 2 more times. But actually, I didn't understand because he wanted Gopinath Prabhu to have the round ones. So things are very, very, very sweet with Srila Gurudev. Then after the initiation, I asked him, please, Gurudev, can I move close to the temple and then I can attend all the programs and have the association with all the devotees? And he said, no, you should stay in ISKCON. So I did till I think it was the winter from 94 to 95 that the ISKCON requested the devotees who were associating with our Srila Gurudev to move out. So then finally he told also, then now you can come. And that was very particular, very particular. The whole moving, I moved with a bullock car, my stuff, and the Gurudeva asked, he was not there, but it was like, look what is happening, look what is happening. Because it's very specific, very symbolic. So after that, then I was allowed to do lots and lots of service for Srila Gurudev. Much, and endless also. He engaged me in pre-Kartik services like booking Dharmshalas, and we did together with Vrinda. I did here in Vrindavan, and she did mostly Govardhan and Varshana, other places. Then of course in 96 the big wonderful step of Srila Gurudev's service, going to travel to the foreign countries, and Prajnath Prabhu was very instrumental in that. And of course Srila Prabhupada had asked already Srila Gurudev to do that service, to encourage his disciples, to help his disciples. So, divine arrangement arranged that Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, he left that year, and then Srila Gurudev picked up the service to start traveling and preaching in the foreign countries. And that time, Bhajana Prabhu, he went to Holland to arrange for Srila Gurudev stay there. Then in the meantime, Gopinath Prabhu had sent me some money. I don't know why, but Krishna knows why. And I thought, we should know what the embassy requirements are to how to get Srila Gurudev a visa for Holland. So I called the embassy, and they gave me a list of what is required for a visa for Srila Gurudev. And I started with that service. I got papers for the insurance. I bought tickets for Srila Gurudev and his brahmacharis. And then Bhajana Prabhu came, and he followed up, and he did everything else. And I thought actually that money came from Gopinath Prabhu, and that Gopinath Prabhu paid for Srila Gurudev ticket. But it ended up actually 1 year later, I found out from my own bank account that I was the one who paid for Srila Gurudev's first ticket to the West, to America. So to Holland first, England and America and back. So that is totally only orchestrated by Srila Gurudev, because he knows everything and I didn't know anything. I'm just following my nose. So that's a big mercy that I got. So I came with him to Holland and he arrived on Liberation Day. And I was not there when he arrived at the airport. I was in the place with Vrinda. We were preparing for Srila Gurudev to come. And I heard from devotees that Srila Gurudev actually cried at the airport. He was very touched about two things mainly. One is that there were so many devotees to pick him up. And he remembered Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, coming all alone to the West and nobody there. He was very, very touched by that and emotional. And another thing that touched him very much, he said that he was amazed how the devotees were still devotees and practicing. That although they were like dry twigs, no, that is how he compared it. And later, when he arrived at the farm, was actually, I think, Bajanath and Vrinda's farm in Bovenleven. In his welcome speech, he also mentioned again those two things that touched him very deeply. And again, he had to cry about that, about Swami Maharaj arriving alone and about the devotees still performing sadhana, that although they didn't have the guru or they were alone. So those things are very amazing. And for Srila Gurudev, of course, it's so much more spiritual, that he sees things that we don't know also, and especially that time everyone was very new to Srila Gurudev, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly how things were meant, but because he was speaking about these things, then we take that to heart. Another very amazing thing that happened in the same place, and the very last moment, Srila Gurudev was already in the car, and they were going to drive him to the airport to go to England. Then one lady had come from France, hitchhiking. She didn't know about Srila Gurudev. She didn't know, nobody knew Gurudev that time. But she heard about that the holy person is coming to this place, and she hitchhiked. And when she arrived, Srila Gurudev came out of the car and took her into the house and gave her Harinam on the spot and then left. So these are miracles, in people's life, and this is how Srila Gurudev more and more showed his compassion and mercy to everyone. Last time also I spoke that in California, there's the Sequoia Park, and it has the highest trees in the world there. So they took Srila Gurudev there, and we did big Naga Sankirtan, like loud. And then afterwards he told us, no, they have suffered enough, those trees. I came to liberate them. So how can we imagine? No, how can we imagine? He's giving the mercy to all, to us as human beings, but to all souls he meet. Everyone, dogs, cats, birds, so many, so many. He asked a few times to devotees not to have pets. Actually, the one time in a house in, I think it was Australia, they had fishes, and he told they are lusty animals. You should get rid of them. Another time, we were somewhere, and he asked to free the bird from the cage. So no, he had a different way of dealing with everything. One day there was one owl, a little wooden owl on the altar, and he said, "Whose is this?" And the person whose owl it was came. And we know in the West, in the old times, we worshipped the owl as being, like giving knowledge. But he said to that person, immediately take that away. So, yeah, he taught and teaches daily, so many things. If you read his books, if you hear his Harikatha, then it's flooded with so many teachings and so many instructions. I remember now also that a few times he teach me to take the words of Sri Guru very serious, even if they are very simple. One time he asked me to get some pictures from the Guru Pampara. He liked a certain type of pictures, and he asked me if I would get them. And then 1 week after, I saw those pictures on the altar, and I had not done it. So I understood, even if it sounds like not necessary or not important, then still I should take it important, his instruction. It happened a few times like that. The one time in the first time, maybe we came to England. I think first time, no, maybe not first time, second time or so. I brought a car from Holland to England to drive the devotees. And then there was one place, there was actually, I think, I don't remember exactly, but there was no car for him. So that year I got to drive him for 3 weeks in England. Also amazing experience, because I'd never driven on the left side of the road and never in England. And I did not make one mistake. And I drove always straight to the addresses that we needed to go to. And it's not possible, no? So that was all Gurudev's, potency and amazing way, showing that he's doing everything. He's our breath, but he's also doing all the practical things. even driving to the right places and in the right way without mistakes. And especially it came to my attention because the early morning, like 3:30 in the morning, I left to bring the car back to Holland. Then immediately I made a mistake. I drove on the wrong side of the road. And so you can see, that time I was alone, and then the Srila Gurudeva was not there. And by everything we do by our own, the way, then that has not the blessings of Gurudev, then goes wrong. So it's teaching me, that to depend on Srila Gurudev, to have full faith in everything. There's so many examples like that, so many examples that we can only trust actually our dear Gurudev or Sri Guru, any pure devotee we can fully trust. Then the next year he told me in Mathura, and my car is ready. And I say, yes, Gurudev. Then we started traveling. I didn't think much about it. And when I was in Holland, I called to England and asked them, do you have a car for Srila Gurudev? And they say, yes. They were a little upset why you're asking. Of course we have. Then we came to England and I didn't bring the car. And at one place, that was Yashoda Gopi's place, that he said, my car is ready. And I say, no, Gurudev, I didn't bring the car. And that he said, even you bring a bullock car, I will go now. So I could disappear. I really got many tests in that way, to understand that everything that Sri Guru is asking us and telling us, we have to follow, even we don't understand the impact of it. It sounded so like sweet, and my car is ready, and it had such a big result that teach me deeply, so many things, and purified me also. So many histories happened like that. And how much time I have more, Didi?
You can speak still. You can also, give the example where Gurudev is. There is Vrindavan. The example that one time he told about the parrots which was flying, and also about the earthquake, the Gurudev, all these things. You can speak.
Yes. Many things. How much time is there, approximately?
Premanandi, how much time we have still?
Approximately 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we were in Philippines. Actually, we had so many pastimes everywhere, but of course, I don't remember everything. And yeah, Vrinda and me thought maybe we sit one day together and then we will remember a lot more, I think. This time we were in the Philippines, and an earthquake came, 6 point, I don't know, 2 or 3. So that's pretty big, and the tremble was huge. We stay in the basement, so we felt it very good. So all of us, we ran. It was 2 o'clock at night. All of us ran to Srila Gurudev's room, and he was standing there very peaceful and calm. And he told us that he already knew that this earthquake was going to happen. He said he knew the day before already. And that's why he was, and he's always chanting anyhow, but that time he was also chanting at the night, and there were no major damages. And this is one thing that happens with pure devotees. No, they know when things are happening, like the other day we heard, no, that Srila Param Gurudeva Bhakti Pragyan Kesava Gosvami, he had taken his disciples out of on an parikrama around India, actually, and they hired the bogie in the train, and the whole bogie was full of devotees, maybe 2 bogies. And I think Didi told that story. Then they drove over a bridge, and the whole train fell into the water or hang off the bridge, only their bogie not. So these are so many miracles that happen around the pure devotee. In Hawaii, one night, 11 o'clock, the police came driving by the coast, and they say everyone has to evacuate because the tidal waves are coming. So Srila Gurudeva knows already everything. And he said, no, he came also out to the ocean to look at the ocean, and he told us no need to move. And there's some places, spots on the coast that they have these big spotlights on the ocean. So we saw, that was amazing. We saw the waves rolling by the house and devouring on the other side some houses. So that's very extraordinary, Very. We didn't move and nothing happened. And I believe personally that's because the presence of our Srila Gurudeva was there. Yeah, so many things that I forget also. And you can help me with a few more, Sashikala?
Yes, you can maybe mention also in the last about the parrots which was flying there, and Gurudeva, he was talking about it, and then that pastime.
That was in London, actually. That was in the London Park in the morning walk. That was Gopinath Prabhu who told me, actually, because the ladies were usually not allowed to go on the morning walk. And we did in the beginning a few times, but he would always turn around and say, what are you doing here? Go. So that was a special mercy for the men. So that time they were walking on their morning walk in London, and there was a enormous, large flock of parrots in the trees. And Gopinath Prabhu, he realized that time that Srila Gurudeva is always in Vrindavan, wherever he goes. And that's, of course, a big realization, because we don't really know until we actually experience things like that. And like the tidal wave and other things, we know that by that they're here on a special mission. Yeah, another thing here is also that I don't know, maybe a few devotees know in Holland that Srila Gurudev, after starting to travel, he got more and more disciples and more people coming to join him in Kartik. And actually Rup Sanatan Mat became a little too small. So they were looking for another place near to the Mathura road. And the Gopinath Prabhu, he heard about that. And he thought it is not really a nice place, very congested and not suitable for Srila Gurudev, a temple. So he offered to Srila Gurudev that he will look for another place. And Gurudev told him, okay, go ahead. And because we couldn't speak Hindi good enough, we asked Amakrishna Prabhu to come with us, and he asked permission from Gurudev as well, and he gave him the permission. So the three of us, we went exploring Vrindavan to many, many places. And then Sashikala Didi, she brought us to Ganga Devi Mandir that we bought later, but that time she brought us there.
Sashikala Didi of Vrindavan.
Yeah. Not you. Then, well, everyone liked the place, but it was only 2 rooms big, so not enough for Srila Gurudev's parikrama. But from there, we went to another place, and then Chandan Prabhu from Srila Vamana Maharaja's Gaudiya Math here, just next door. He knew the owners from this place, and then slowly we got involved in buying that, because Gurudev told Gopinath Prabhu that he couldn't buy it himself because of some issue with one lawyer who is involved with the neighbors. He created some trouble for the Gaudiya Math in another place. So Gurudev knew him already. And then Gopinath Prabhu said, no, I can do it for you. I will do everything. So then he did. And Srila Gurudev liked the building style. So he told him, you make me my place, you build an assembly hall that we all can meet, and then some rooms for devotees. So from one and another, then when everything was ready, then Gurudev told, now you should get deities. Should I order them or should you order them? Then of course we don't know anything. So we told him that you should do. And he ordered the deities in Jaipur, and he installed them here in Gopinath Bhavan on the first day of Kartik in 2007. And he came already for Kartik the first time in 2001. That was our first parikrama here in Gopinath Bhavan. And everything was open. We just had put a tent. We cleaned the floors, but it was all humpy bumpy, and in the back there were only ruins. Then from that year on, all the parikramas, the Vrindavan part parikramas, they were held here, and Srila Gurudev stayed here also from that very first year also. Only he went to different rooms a few years, and then in 2004 his quarters were also finished, and from that time on he stayed here twice a year, once at Julan Yatra and another time with Kartik. And of course no, the mercy is always flowing, even up till now, every day. It is a miracle, and every day Srila Gurudev is helping every single person in their sadhana, in their progress, in their purification. And that's what we want. That's what we want. We want to get purified. We want to get the ego smashed. We want all that, because without all that, we cannot get bhakti. We can actually, because that Mahaprabhu came, but theoretically we cannot get that if we not give up our false egos and misconceptions. And he's kindly, very, very kindly engaging everyone. And even the ones that never met him, they can follow him still, because that relationship is eternal. And from my own experience with Srila Prabhupada, the Swami Maharaj, the same happens with Srila Gurudev. And actually he gave a very good example to Vrindavan Vilasini Didi, that I was there, I heard it with my own ears, that he told, your heart is for your Srila Prabhupada, but just keep a small corner for me. And this is such a big teaching, because the guru should actually make the disciple love his guru more and understand his guru more and follow his guru more. And he showed by example that they are working together, and our relationships are eternal with Sri Guru. And I'm very deeply thankful. And we hear that always, we can never repay what the Guru has given. And day by day, we get to understand more and more what he wants us to do, what he wants us to give up, what he wants from us. And in the end, he was giving us, not in the end, but he was giving so many impressions. He made so much impact on all his disciples, going on parikrama, telling again and again, ask only for Radha Dasham, don't ask anything else. And so many, so many more things that everyone know already. So these are a few experiences, personal experiences I have with our dearmost Srila Gurudev, and by speaking about him, I'm missing him more actually. And I pray to him that anyhow, even if I pray or not, he will do anyhow. He will take us all to the spiritual world, because that is his promise. Like I said in the Harikatha and Rup Sanatan Mat, he taught that it's his promise, it's the pure devotee's promise, that they will take everyone with them. And he has told also many times, even if people would do sometimes some things they shouldn't do, he would always say, but I want them also to come with me. So we have to develop more tolerance and more, anyhow, everyone knows that, no? Tanada Pishanishana, Sarora Pishanishana, Amanina Banadena, Kirtanani. Now I forgot, sorry. But like that, now we have to become humble as the grass and tolerant as the tree, and don't expect anything from anyone. So I want to end here my sharing. It's not a presentation, it's more sharing what my experience is with our Srila Gurudev. And it's not enough to glorify him, and it's not enough to honor him, but by very, very small, no, the disciple, I'm trying, no, to explain to the people how he was, what he did, like that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Didi, so much for the wonderful pastime which you shared with us. We are very grateful to you, also especially you were the one who bought also Srila Guru's ticket. And by that arrangement, Srila Gurudev came to Holland, because before we didn't knew Gurudev. So first time when we met Srila Gurudev, that was at the airport. We went with lots of devotees there to receive him. And I know that Gurudev became very emotional to see all of us there. And so I think also Brinda and Brajanath Prabhu, they arranged also their place, because in the beginning we didn't knew so much about Guru. So in the beginning they had to do this, and by all of your endeavor, we are having the foods now here in Holland, and all the other countries also they are also having the foods, because you all brought Srila Gurudev. And luckily, Gurudev chose you to buy his tickets by tricky arrangements. He's very tricky. And I think also in the beginning you served Swami Maharaja there in the ISKCON, and at the ISKCON, so also you got the mercy. And later on, you also served Archa Vigraha Didi in her last days when she became very sick. So also you got also that mercy, because like in the pastime of Param Gurudev also and Srila Gurudev, when Ananga Mohan Brahmachari became very ill, and then Param Gurudev was very much lamenting, and then Srila Gurudev took the risk, because Srila Gurudev could even risk his life for even taking care of him. And then because Srila Gurudev still took care of him, even though taking the risk to lose his own life.
No, he actually got attracted TB. Actually, Srila
Gurudev. So you see, and in this way you also served Archa Vigraha Didi, and you got also mercy. And then later you came to Mathura Math, and then you also experienced pastime that in the beginning Gurudev was purifying you, like neglecting you. He said, "Don't touch my feet," and then you were so much, you were crying, and then very much, thinking about this happening. And that was in that way Gurudev was purifying you and making you ready to come and to travel to make the tour. So many times we traveled, and also made arrangements together, also with Virina Didi for the kitchen and everything, his room, so many things to take care, so many responsibility you had. So we are very thankful to you. So very
thankful to all of you.
Thank you so much, Didi, for your time. It is here in India.
To see you.
Thank you so much.
After a long time.
And please take care of your health in this Corona time. So, and I hope to meet with you and to have your sweet darshan again. and I will bring my
Okay.
friend, but only each time I'm afraid if you are two both together, then you're experiencing some pastime, like in Germany with the snow, and you know you wanted to be on time for cooking together with mother, and you climb the hill, and so many scenes were there. So my mother
The
wrote
past,
also that.
the
My mother,
past didn't happen to pass.
yes,
It was just about it.
yeah. Time I'm always, worried when you two are together. Then you're up to it, something, some adventure.
Yeah,
So
we are
those
from the same age.
yes. So my mother wrote this time also, and many devotees they were reading. And now I want to tell to everyone, this is Tungavidya Didi with whom I'm this is the past time. Okay, Didi, thank
Yeah.
you so much. And we will
Yeah,
now.
thank you, Sashikala.
Yes.